For nearly as long as rock guitar has been a thing, independent amp builders have been building amps that, while they might have started with a Fender or a Marshall kind of thing, they've taken that and they've gone their own way with it. The list of amazing amp builders is long and varied, but today I want to focus on just one of them. His name is Scott Splawn. Hi, I'm Steve. Welcome to my studio. Based in Dallas, North Carolina, Scott Splawn began learning tube amp design in 1996. He had a sound in his head that he wanted to get from his Marshalls, so he started playing around modifying them, trying to get the sound that eventually became known as the Quickrod sound. After several years of trying this and that, Scott hit upon a mod that he really liked, and he began offering it to local players who wanted the sound that they had heard from Scott's amps. In 2001, Scott opened a guitar shop and business really took off. In 2002, he became a Marshall dealer and he was buying reissued JCM 800 and Plexis solely to mod them for resale. These got really popular thanks to the Harmony Central forums, and Scott got real busy. But after a couple years, Marshall jacked their prices through the roof. So Scott decided to start building his own amps from scratch. And in 2004, Splawn Amps was born. I'm going to focus on one model in particular, the Quickrod. As his first release, this is the amp that made the Splawn name famous. Now, before we go any farther, I'm playing one of my custom Strats. It's loaded with Seymour Duncan pickups. It's a JB here in the bridge, a classic hot stack in the middle, and a vintage hot stack in the neck. The amp's running through my no-name 412 cabinet loaded with Celestion G12 EVH speakers, and it's mic'd as shown in the picture. Any delay or reverb you hear is being added later in Logic. Now, something interesting to note, with the exception of the transformers and the printed circuit boards, every part of these amps is made by Scott in Dallas, North Carolina. From the head shells and speaker cabinets, right down to the metal chassis that the amps are made from, Scott builds them in his shop. The transformers are custom wound here in the United States. The Quickrod's a 2-channel amp, clean and dirty. The clean channel kind of takes the old school approach with just having a treble and bass EQ knob, as well as volume and gain. Turn on some chorus and see how that sounds. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the clean channel. I mean, it's a clean channel. It's pretty simple. It sounds great. And while that's important to have, you don't buy a Splawn for the clean channel. Over on the dirty channel, you've got your standard complement of knobs: presence, bass, mids, treble, volume, and gain. You've also got a solo volume control, and that's foot switchable and is used for a volume boost when you need it. That's super useful. And here's your gear knob. The 3 gears let you switch through 3 different preamp styles. First gear is kind of classic mode, second gear is hot rodded, and third gear is super hot rodded. I've got a nice crunchy tone dialed in here. I'm currently in second gear. Let's check it out. Okay, now I'm going to play some, and I'm going to switch through the gears so that you can hear the difference. So while you can definitely hear a difference, it's fairly subtle. I guess that's why he calls them gears instead of different channels. Also, you can see the gain knob is straight up at 12 o'clock. So this amp has a lot of gain on tap. Check it out. So as you can see, this amp has got a ton of gain on tap, but it sounds great with lower and mid gain type stuff too. Check it out. Quickrod comes with a 4-button foot switch controller. The buttons are channel for clean and dirty. The second button is mode, which I'll go over in a minute. The third button is overdrive 1 and 2, which is basically just a little gain boost. And then the fourth button is for your solo boost. Now the mode switch works like this. If the LED above the switch is off, then the amp is in second gear. If the LED is on, then whatever gear you have the gear switch selected to, that's what gear you're hearing. So for instance, if I have the gear switch set to third gear and the LED is on, then I'm in third gear. If the LED is off, I'm in second gear. I'm gonna play around a bit and twist some knobs so you can hear how the various tone knobs interact. years ago, Scott told me that a lot of people seem to think that when he designed the Quickrod, he was going for an Edward Van Halen kind of thing. But the real inspiration was actually George Lynch from Dokken and Lynch Mob. So, you know, when I heard that, I had to break out some George riffs. I think Scott's built an amazing amp in the Quickrod. Sure, its influences are clear, but this amp has a tone and an attitude all its own. Now, my Quickrod is the basic configuration, but Scott offers all kinds of customization and modification options, as well as other kick-ass amp designs and even Splawn guitars. So head on over to the Splawn website and check it out. And as always, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.